well-known fact that when you whip up a bowl of smooth, buttery Hungry Jack mashed potatoes on fish stick night, they'll honor you with a moment of silence. Award-winning Hungry Jack mashed potatoes.
With so many luscious layers, Edwards pies are one of the great wonders of the world. The Colossus of creamy layers, the Taj Mahal of taste. Incredibly indulgent cream pies from Edwards, the luscious wonders of the world.
What does it mean to just believe? It means to live your life again, to be yourself again, to start recovering from your addiction with the help of people who have been there before and who know what you're going through. So if you're struggling with alcohol or drug addiction, don't wait another minute. Just believe. Call Just Believe Recovery today at 1-855-726-6112.
For a limited time. Sundays.
One man's trash.
This is perfect.
Is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier.
Brainstormers. Sundays at 9. Only on the Weather Channel.
Like we had yesterday, we again today have the threat for severe thunderstorms and tornadoes. Today, though, it's a little bit farther to the east. We have a tornado watch for the eastern parts of Kentucky and Tennessee. That goes until midnight. And relatively newly issued severe thunderstorm watch there for the northern part of Alabama. That goes until midnight. And a severe thunderstorm watch that goes for parts of Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi, also going until midnight. Now, here and there throughout the regions, we have severe thunderstorms ahead of this cold front. That's showing up in blue. Behind that, you see the winds coming in from the northwest and temperatures dropping into the 50s. Out ahead of that, Knoxville, you're 76, in the 80s down in the Gulf Coast states. So those warmer temperatures are fueling some thunderstorms here and there. Quite a few severe thunderstorm warnings now across eastern parts of Tennessee. Here and there down into Mississippi. Green flash flood warnings, eastern Kentucky down into southern parts of West Virginia. Storm that is an individual rotating supercell thunderstorm off to the east now in eastern parts of Tennessee has been keeping my eye on that one. Loudoun, Morgan, and Roane counties. That one will come toward the Knoxville area. Could be some hail, damaging winds, and a chance of a tornado. No tornado warning on that one at the moment. Well ahead of the other storms in Middle Tennessee, Greene, Hamlin, and Hawkins counties. This one more of a line of storms coming toward the Greenville, Johnson City area. We'll come back and talk about Middle Tennessee. I wanted to first show you, though, the other threat that we've had big time today. Massive flooding this morning in the Louisville area. That heaviest rain now is over into eastern Kentucky, moving into southern West Virginia, south of Huntington there. Many counties, including south of Charleston there, but coming into the Beckley area with flash flood warnings in West Virginia. And Lexington, you're out of the flood warning, but still Lee and Powell counties, heading toward the Jackson, Kentucky area, you have that flooding. This morning and over the past 24 hours, the orange here, 5 to 6 inches of rain, some places, including Louisville, up to 7 inches of rain. So lots of flooding has occurred. Well over 100 water rescues have been reported, many of those in the Louisville area. Bo Echo here off to the south and east of the Nashville area, coming across the McMinnville area. That will mean damaging winds in places coming toward south of Spencer and over toward Dayton, Tennessee. Jumping then down into a little much smaller Bo Echo, but very intense surging forward there north and east of Tupelo, Mississippi. That one may come over into Alabama, north of Hamilton toward the Haley area. And then another one of these coming into the Grenada, Mississippi area with damaging winds, the main threat for these. So isolated severe thunderstorms coming down into the eastern parts of Tennessee, northern and central Mississippi, maybe into the Louisiana area. Still, I've dropped the Torcon maxima down from 4 to 3, but still a 30% chance of a tornado in these East Tennessee, northern parts of Mississippi and Alabama areas. 30% chance of a tornado within 50 miles. Should be a much quieter weekend, but we get into next week and the jet stream pattern becomes much more favorable for spring weather, with severe thunderstorms probably beginning in Kansas and Missouri on Monday and continuing each day for the next several days and probably each day next week. Jennifer?
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Forrest. Well, on the northern side of this is the colder air, and that's going to help to produce some snow for Syracuse as we head into the overnight hours. We've had some dry conditions pretty much for most of the first part of the day. Now we're starting to see that moisture trying to move into the Syracuse University area. All right, we are looking at snow for this Easter weekend. It's going to move into the northeast. It'll stay away from I-95, but certainly interior sections of upstate New York and northern New England inland. Could be looking at some good snow coming down as that cold air pushes in from the north. It'll start late tonight, but the brunt of it won't come in until tomorrow as that area of low pressure just moves over the area. We see that colder air on the western side of it and that rain-snow mix for Buffalo and Burlington for tonight. Then tomorrow, changing to all snow showers for Buffalo, Syracuse, right up into Burlington and across northern New Hampshire and over towards the state of Maine. For Boston, it should all be rain for you, but you go farther to the north, up here into Burlington as well as into Caribou, several inches of snow as we go through this evening and right through tomorrow night. Really, tomorrow night is when it's going to pick up. So Syracuse, a few of those snow showers starting tonight, but really coming down tomorrow morning and then continuing to stay in the forecast for Syracuse right into Easter Sunday. Alex?
Well, stargazers, listen up. A lunar eclipse happens early tomorrow morning. This will be the shortest lunar eclipse, though, of the century. You'll be able to see it for just over 4 minutes if the weather cooperates. And it's really going to be around, say, 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Western time. Eastern time, that thing called sunrise is kind of going to get in your way. So really west of the Mississippi is where we want to pay attention to the weather forecast. And it looks like Sacramento, LA, Phoenix doing okay as the time we get into that right around the 4:45 a.m. So you got to be an early riser out west. And again, with the sun coming up in the east and a little more
It's hard
cover
to do on a Saturday morning, too.
It is. And we understand for that. But hey, wanted to give you the heads up because a lot of people out there really love taking a look at it.
Okay, well, we're going to continue to watch storms across the south as we go through the night.
Absolutely. They're packing a lot of trouble. Hail, damaging winds, flash flooding, a big issue as well.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, generally clear skies, low 69. Winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, a few clouds early, otherwise mostly sunny. High 86. Saturday night, a few clouds from time to time. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 70. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome to special coverage of severe weather crossing the Midwest right now. Tornado watches across the states of Kentucky and Tennessee. Along with Nick Walker, I'm Kim Cunningham.
We're in the lab right now bringing you the very latest from that system. And we'll be here for you until at least 10 p.m. Eastern time tonight. And storm specialist Carl Parker has been tracking the storms all night. What are we seeing on the radar right now?
Well, you know, we're not seeing as much turning of the winds as we saw yesterday. So it looks like it's going to be more of a severe thunderstorm threat with some tornadoes certainly possible. And here is a look at what's happening with the weather right now. You've got a front that's coming down across the Ohio Valley, down into the lower Mississippi Valley. Plenty of warm and humid air ahead of that. But again, not a lot of turning of the winds with height. You've got winds that are coming out of the south-southwest in the lower levels, and then it turns a little more towards the southwest as you go up in the atmosphere, and then more towards the west as you get well up into the atmosphere to about 10,000 feet. Dew points are up there, so there's plenty of humid air in place, and we've got a line of storms along that front. This was the visible satellite picture showing you the last of the images before it got dark there, and you can see that line of thunderstorms coming across Tennessee. And got a big group of them now in the eastern part of the state, and we'll drop on in and take a look at some of these warnings. Warning there for Johnson City and 26. That's Greene, Hamblin, Hawkins counties. Cells moving along towards the east about 45 miles per hour, and could see some damaging wind or some hail with that. This is probably the most serious of the cells that we're watching of all of them, the one that's coming now into Knoxville. And this is a warning for Anderson and Knox and Roane counties going until 8:45. So that's now just north and west of the I-40 corridor. And within that core there could be large hail, maybe half-dollar size hail, and 70-mile-per-hour wind. That is coming right into the heart of Knoxville, and it's moving very quickly now at about 50 miles per hour. So heads up there for some very strong wind and possibly large hail, certainly a lot of lightning and rain moving in with that cell. Then off to the west of that, warning for Cumberland, White counties going until 7:30. Again, hail and wind, the concern just south of Crossville. And then we've got another big little bow here. You see that sort of backward C shape. And along with that, a wind threat, Grundy, Van Buren, Warren counties. That's going until 7:30. Things looking a lot better in Nashville right now. And then as we take you down into Alabama and into Mississippi, you notice a couple of warnings here. One of those warnings in eastern Mississippi, Itawamba County, and that is for Fulton and Wenatchee and also Tremont. Then a brand new warning here off to the east of that. That is for Franklin County. That going until 7:45. Again, hail and wind, the threats there. And then finally, there's a cluster of storms now coming down into the 55 corridor in Mississippi. No warning on this right now. We'll continue to watch this very closely. Kim, Nick, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Carl. We also had severe weather move through the Tennessee area. Right now, looking at the radar, all the storms are off to the south and east. Where those storms are severe, we're starting to see improving weather in the Nashville area, but not after we got hit with hail and damaging winds.
What a time it was. And our own Dave Malkoff is there live in Nashville right now. And Dave, boy, the skies just lit up for a time there, and we even had a tornado warning for a while.
Oh, yeah, and we heard the sirens going off, but luckily those warnings have expired now. We still do have a wind advisory. That goes into the wee hours of the morning, about 1 a.m. or so until those expire. We can feel the wind blowing around here. The temperature has definitely dropped. I actually had to put the rain jacket back on because we got a little bit of rain just a little bit ago. Let's take you down to Vanderbilt campus so you can see what's going on down there. About the same thing that's happening here as the sun sets on Music City. Man, oh man, did we get a wallop here now that you're looking at the Vanderbilt live shot from the camera out there. It's the same thing all around the Nashville area. We got this real intense half hour of fire hose type weather coming down on us. Not only did we have that, but we had the lightning, the thunder, and listen to the sirens. Yeah, despite those sirens, you can see the cars just riding by, going through the little bit of ponding that we had here, not far from the Country Music Hall of Fame. Cars were going about their business here on this Good Friday, maybe going home for the weekend and to celebrate the holiday at home, everybody trying to get into their spot. But when they heard those sirens, people who heard them and they were in buildings, maybe they were still at work, they had to get to their safe place. That's an interior room with no windows around. Those sirens mean business because Dr. Forbes actually did tell us that there was a funnel cloud spotted near the radar site east of town. But Kim, no touchdowns reported at this point. No warnings right now. We do have that wind advisory and it's cold, Kim.
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing to see you in a coat. All right, thank you so much, Dave. We appreciate it. Now I'm with Carl. We're going to talk about the forecast and take it forward in time. And Carl, thinking there's going to be more severe weather overnight?
Well, you know, I think it's going to really settle down overnight tonight. I think we will see some storms, then maybe more towards morning right along the Gulf Coast, but I think it will be settling down. And here's a look at our Torcon for tonight. It's a 3 out of 10 in eastern Tennessee, not the highest of values. Most of what we're going to see is severe thunderstorm warnings, but there could be an occasional tornado. And then also we've got a value of 3 out of 10 off to the south and west there for parts of Mississippi and Alabama. And you can see that severe threat extending down into Louisiana as well. So here is the RPM. This is a high resolution model. And there you see those big storms coming over into the eastern part of Tennessee. And then by later tonight, perhaps some stronger storms right around Jackson, central Mississippi. You notice that a lot of this activity is beginning to really fizzle. And then maybe a few more strong storms overnight into deep south parts of Alabama. But the line in general is going to be weakening, maybe flaring again tomorrow morning there in northwestern Florida. The models differ on that point. And then beyond that, it's going to be a pretty quiet weekend, we think.
Right.
But certainly we've got a lot of rain on the way here. A series of systems coming in. We've got the rain that's been going on across Kentucky today and the flooding there. And going through next week, we've got a lot more in the way of systems on the way. It's going to be a much more active pattern. So we're talking about 3 to 5 inches in pockets there across the Ohio Valley and Deep South.
Wow, we've got a threat maybe Monday. We'll talk about that later on for severe. Back to you.
All right. Thanks so much, Kim. Thanks, Carl. We got a sad story to tell you about this evening. This out of Kentucky. A mother and child are still missing after they were swept down a flooded creek this morning. It happened in Beattyville in the eastern part of the state. Kentucky State Police say the two were stranded in their car by high water. Local police were attempting to reach them when they rushed. The water just swept them away. A state police helicopter was requested to help with the search, but the weather's been just too bad to search from the air. Well, we have more on the dangerous flooding and the severe threat, too, for Kentucky. That continues after a quick break. The state inundated with rain last night, causing flash flooding. Why more rain could mean dangerous conditions if you're at home or on the road after your local on the 8s.
Constipated? Dulcolax tablets can cause cramps, but not Phillips. It has magnesium and works more naturally than stimulant laxatives for gentle, cramp-free relief of occasional constipation.
That works.
Live the regular life. Phillips.
I always dreamed of coming here. When my asthma symptoms returned, my doctor prescribed Dulera to help prevent them.
Dulera is for patients 12 and older whose asthma is not well controlled on a long-term asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Dulera will not replace a rescue inhaler for sudden symptoms.
A 6-month clinical study has shown Dulera helps significantly improve lung function.
Dulera contains formoterol, which increases the risk of death from asthma problems and may increase the risk of hospitalization in children and adolescents. Dulera is not for people whose asthma is well controlled with a long-term asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Once your asthma is well controlled, your doctor will decide if you can stop Dulera and prescribe a different asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Do not take Dulera more than prescribed. See your doctor if your asthma does not improve or gets worse.
Ask your doctor about Dulera.
It's a thrill.
Whoa, yes!
You're excited. You're energized.
Grip it and rip it. Take a look at that action.
And for those kids that get to hit shots at the range, get to hit putts on 18, this is one of the best places in the game of golf.
The Drive, Chip, and Putt National Finals. Sunday on Golf Channel.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, generally clear skies, low 69. Winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, a few clouds early, otherwise mostly sunny. High 86. Saturday night, a few clouds from time to time. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 70. Here's our 7-day outlook.
We have been shattering records. Look at this sample.
I'm getting soaked.
You weren't expecting that, were you?
No, I wasn't.
Discover Can-Am's wide range of industry-leading vehicles during the Ready to Ride sales event. For a limited time, the Outlander L starts at $59.99. Or get the versatile Commander, the powerful Outlander, and the turbocharged Maverick XDS with cash rebates up to $2,000. Don't miss out. Visit your local dealer during the Ready to Ride sales event. Can-Am, the ride says it all.
Well, sir, after some serious consideration, I'd like to put in my 15-year notice.
You're quitting?
Technically retiring, sir. With a little help from my State Farm agent, I plan to retire in 15 years.
Wow, you're totally blindsiding me here. Who's going to manage your accounts? This is a devastating blow I was not prepared for.
I'm going to finish packing my things. 15 years will really sneak up on you.
Jennifer will do your exit interview, and Adam made you a cake.
Red velvet.
Oh, thank you.
I made this.
Take charge of your retirement. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
Need an oil change? Right now at Pep Boys, get 5 quarts of Castrol GTX oil and a Purelator Classic filter for only $22.99. Or let the boys do it for you with a full-service conventional oil change for just $24.99 with coupon. Trust the boys to get you there.
Welcome back as we take a live look at Indianapolis, where it's been kind of raining off and on for the last few hours. But the big difference that you felt are the temperatures. Boy, they have really dropped like a rock from the low 60s earlier in the day. Now we're down to the mid and upper 40s in the Indy area. A lot of clouds out there. We still might see a few sprinkles or showers out there even tonight. But let's look and see where we're finding a lot of active weather on the radar. And look at all of the lightning. This is a recap of what we saw this morning in the early morning hours, and we're continuing to see a lot of lightning out there even as we speak. Let's take a look. What max is this on, Sarah? Is this on? There we go. Okay, Louisville. Boy, oh boy, you saw just being clobbered with rainfall earlier in the day. Now we've got the severe weather farther toward the south. Across portions of Mississippi, on into Alabama, we could see these storms continue to track. Fulton, Manatee, and Tremont here around the Mississippi area. You are under warnings for the possibility of hail and damaging winds. This obviously just to the east of the Tupelo area. Look out around Red Bay and Hamilton as well for the possibility of some strong thunderstorms throughout this region. So we'll continue to keep an eye on the south as well as farther toward the east, where we've had lots of rain today, Kim.
Oh my gosh, that is for sure. And those of you in Louisville, Kentucky know this has been a very wet 24 hours. In fact, today breaks the one-day record for rainfall in your city. The rain today measuring over 5 inches and still raining in some areas. Now you compare that to the one-day record set back on April 1st, 1970. That was 4.8 inches.
Oh my God, I'm like shaking. This is horrifying.
This is insane. This is worse than last time.
Oh my God.
And there goes the dumpster.
There's the other dumpster.
Many of you have been documenting this record rainfall with your cell phone cameras and posting it to YouTube. Look at the rainwater move this industrial-sized dumpster like it's a toy car. It's the example of why the National Weather Service reminds us to turn around, don't drown. When we encounter floodwaters, find a detour. Truth is, you never know how deep the waters could be or if a current could sweep you away. So what happened here? Well, boy, what a night we had. Look at all the lightning that moved through here overnight. So big storms moved through, plenty of lightning with these storms, and we had plenty of moisture available and all these storms moving along a front. So we saw many hours, 4 hours of heavy rain around the area. I mean, look at this, all the way through 3:30 in the morning. I think a lot of you slept through once the lightning stopped and the thunder stopped, slept through and you woke up and you're like, wow, we woke up to that. Amazing. And you know what? If we get an additional maybe a half inch or more, maybe up to an inch, that's going to put us back into the flash flooding. So ground is saturated, additional rain will cause flash flooding. We got to be careful, and it looks like we're going to see more rain next week in this area. So look at the totals. Amazing. 6 inches of rain west of Louisville, 5.7 here at the airport, farther south close to 6 inches. So right along, these storms just kept moving over the same area, so producing all the flooding problems. And again, at least right now, it's quieting down here, at least for now. Nick?
Boy, folks in the West are just eyeing all that rainfall with envy. Crisis in California, but it's help on the way. After your local on the 8s, we'll break down what impact, if any, the pending rain will have on the drought that is now forcing mandatory water restrictions in the state. Keep it here.
Lennox makes the quietest system you can find. So even though it's the most powerful force in your home, it won't sound like it is.
For more information, contact your local Lennox dealer.
Master Cromwell, a man of many talents.
He comes from nothing.
A ruffian.
It's as if he's the one in charge.
You think you are the king?
I'm warning you, those who've been made can be unmade.
I entirely agree.
You get sick, you can't breathe through your nose. Suddenly, you're a mouth breather. A mouth breather. Well, put on a Breathe Right strip and shut your mouth. Cold medicines open your nose over time, but add a Breathe Right strip and pow, it opens your nose up to 38% more. So you can breathe and do the one thing you want to do. Sleep. Add Breathe Right to your cold medicine, shut your mouth, and sleep right. Breathe Right. And look for the calming scent of new Breathe Right lavender in the sleep aisle.
Thompson's Water Seal Waterproofing Stain. The seal you can trust, with stain and sealer in one, and easy to choose colors. Exceptional beauty and protection have never been easier. Thompson's Water Seal Waterproofing Stain. Available at the Home Depot.
Capri Sun, with no high fructose corn syrup and no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. Those are your rules. Their rules?
There's 5 people who are it. You gotta hit the target. You can go over or under.
Them figure them out. Yay! Everything they love, and now with no high fructose corn syrup.
Guys, I found 10th base!
Capri Sun. Go ahead. Let them push play.
What's he doing? You think I have time to run into?
Golfsmith. Anything for golf.
Our oath isn't an empty gesture. It isn't sealed with a pinky swear. It's the heart and soul of Terminix Nation. The Terminix Ultimate Protection Guarantee. A vow to kill every termite in your home. A vow that if, by some miraculous chance, even one survives, we'll put our money where our mouth is, finish it off, and pay for any damages. We'll meet them head-on with our battle cry. Not here, not now, not in my house. Terminix.
We know you can't control the weather.
That's looking good.
So we build things to harness it.
That's awesome.
They hit the water. Game on.
Up here in Southeast Alaska, Coast Guard's the last line of defense.
This is about how far you can push yourself.
If you're not happy with how your allergy medicine treats your congestion, rethink relief with Nasacort Allergy 24-Hour. Unlike antihistamines that target only one cause of your symptoms, Nasacort stops more, relieving the worst nasal allergy symptoms, even congestion, for 24 hours. It's non-addictive and has no harsh taste, and unlike Flonase, it's scent and alcohol-free. And it's available over the counter at full prescription strength. Rethink your relief with Nasacort. It stops more of what makes you miserable.
If your age is between 50 and 85, you probably think you can't afford life insurance. The thought of leaving your family the burden of your final expenses can be stressful, but one simple call to Fidelity Life can provide you and your family with peace of mind. With premiums and coverage amounts guaranteed to stay the same for the life of the policy. There's no medical exam required, and by answering a few simple questions, your coverage can start immediately. Speak with a licensed agent for Fidelity Life today.
Call today, 1-800-516-0730.
Order now.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, generally clear skies, low 69. Winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, a few passing clouds, otherwise generally sunny, high 86. Saturday night, partly cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible, low 70. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back, everyone. Check it out. We had some big storms move to the Nashville area within the last couple of hours. 58 degrees, big temperature drop as the storms are now to the east. And boy, dumped some heavy rain, frequent lightning, some wind damage, trees down, winds to 68 miles per hour to your north. Just amazing storms to roll through. So in Nashville right now, the good news is we're done with the severe weather threat. As a matter of fact, this tornado watch is no longer in effect. So everything is now east of you. And we have this tornado watch until midnight. And this is for eastern Kentucky, also eastern parts of Tennessee. And we'll take a look at that if we could show you. There we go. So we're looking at the tornado watch here, and then farther south and west and south of you in Nashville. This is until 9 o'clock, so a little bit longer with that. And then we have a new severe thunderstorm watch. This one's till midnight here in parts of Mississippi, and also into Alabama. This watch is until midnight. So it does not include Birmingham proper, but it's very close to you. Knoxville right now getting severe storms. You can see one moving through as we speak. Anderson, Knox, and Rowan County. This is until 8:45. The potential is there for damaging winds and some hail as well. We also have severe storms, looks like approaching maybe Dayton here in eastern parts of Tennessee. Hamilton, Meigs, and Ray County under a severe thunderstorm warning. So this whole line of storms moving through eastern Tennessee and Kentucky has the potential for damaging winds and some hail. Grundy, Van Buren, and Warren County continues to be under a warning as well. That extends all the way here into northern Alabama, just north of the Huntsville area. Limestone, Lincoln, Madison County under a warning. Now these storms starting to come into northern Alabama in from Mississippi. Franklin County with this storm now under a warning. So this one, you can see how it kind of splits away from the main line. Watch this one, Hamilton. It's heading towards you. We could see some hail and damaging winds. But before it came through, look at this. We had plenty of damage reports and hail reports around Nashville. Nick?
And as far as the heavy rainfall, doesn't it always seem like it's feast or famine, depending on where you are in the country?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's feast in the east.
Right.
In the west, it's famine. You know, 2 days after mandatory water cutbacks were instituted by California's Governor Jerry Brown, the state remains in crisis. Take San Francisco, for example. 2015 has seen less rain in the first 3 months than any time in recorded history. And the last measurable precipitation was all the way back on March 23rd. So we still have dire problems, and they're just getting worse even as we speak. We are going to see some rainfall, though, coming into the California area. So in the coming days, we've got a few drops in California's bucket. The drops are little. The bucket is big. And we are not come anywhere close to filling it up. And look at the drought map here. The darker color, that is the exceptional drought. Extreme or more drought in 67% of the state of California, and just about the entire state in some form of drought. Now, the northern part of the state will get some needed rainfall. The southern part, just a little bit, all right? We've got drops coming in next week with a persistent period of rain showers that will affect northern and central and portions of southern California. And the snow levels are going to be lowering too in the Sierra Nevada. So we are going to see some snowfall up in some of those higher elevations. Boy, we need a whole lot more than that to get down into the reservoirs and be an investment for the water supply here come the summer. Here's the forecast as we head on into Monday. Northern California, then it spreads southward. The rain, the mountain snow on into Tuesday, and even areas near Los Angeles could pick up maybe an inch or less. All right, some of us are probably going to see 1 to 2 inches here in Northern California, and in some of the mountain ranges out toward the coast, 2 to 3 inches, but it's still not nearly what we need in that area, Kim.
No, that is for sure, Nick. And unfortunately, like you said, we've been getting plenty of rainfall in some areas of the east. Let's take a live look right now at Nashville, Tennessee, where the heavy rain threat is over. Still ominous looking skies. It is really cooling down here as well. The radar showing most of the storms now off to your east in Nashville, and that's setting up actually for a pretty decent weekend. We're looking at those tornado watches, though, eastern Kentucky and Tennessee until midnight and 9 o'clock to the south here in Nashville. And that threat for severe weather continues with this line ahead of the cold front.
Remember the hassle of vacuuming? Before, the Dyson V6 Motorhead Cleaner gave you powerful suction and standout performance without the hassle of a cord.
When you're hungry for the craveable taste of tender fish and shrimp, nothing's better than Long John Silver's. Now, for a limited time, enjoy our new crispy golden fish and shrimp basket for just $3.99 at Long John Silver's.
At Cricket Wireless, we think you shouldn't have to worry about adding up all the taxes and fees to your monthly bill. That's why our plans start at just $35 after $5 autopay credit. All in. Now with 2.5 gigs of high-speed data. Cricket. Something to smile about.
Constipated? Dunkel-X tablets can cause cramps, but not Philips. It has magnesium and works more naturally than stimulant laxatives for gentle, cramp-free relief of occasional constipation.
That works.
Live the regular life. Philips.
Your relationship with your dog is pure. It's innocent. It's work, but it's perfect. You wouldn't trade it for the world. So protect your dog with Trifexis. Trifexis is the monthly beef-flavored tablet that prevents heartworm disease, kills fleas, and prevents infestations, and treats and controls hook, round, and whipworm infections. Treatment with fewer than 3 monthly doses after exposure to mosquitoes may not provide complete heartworm prevention. The most common adverse reactions were vomiting, depression, and itching. Serious adverse reactions have been reported following concurrent extra-label use of ivermectin with spinosad, one of the components of Trifexis. Prior to administration, dogs should be tested for existing heartworm infection. You'll take it all, the good and the bad, because that's what makes your relationship irreplaceable. Protect your dog all year long with the 3-in-1 power of Trifexis, available by prescription only. Talk to your veterinarian about how to protect every second you share together.
It's the Men's Warehouse Total Style event. Get select suits for $199.99. 3 select non-iron dress shirts for just $99.99. Plus, buy one, get one free on even more. Only at Men's Warehouse.
Think your tropical vacation can't get any better than this? Xperio UV superior polarized sun lenses eliminate 100% of blinding reflective glare and offer the maximum UV protection. Ask for Xperio UV superior polarized sun lenses for the best vision under the sun.
Spicy Super Crunch chicken strips are not your mom's chicken strips.
What about my mom?
I like these chicken strips.
Well, we'll see how this goes. Mom, you have an admirer. She is interested?
Okay. Chicken with a kick. Spicy Super Crunch chicken strips. This is how you Sonic.
Bridgestone's new Drive Guard tires are engineered to take a puncture and go up to 50 miles.
We can drive 50 miles on a flat, and you have an app that makes nails pop up?
Yep.
We could rule the world. But I've got carpool at 3, though, so we could, mess with the world.
You know those neighbors always making weird inventions out of junk in their garage? We just gave them their own TV show.
Come on, Wind.
I think I just made Mother Nature my bitch.
One man's trash.
This is perfect.
Is another man's wood-powered Jeep.
Sundays at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, generally 9, winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, a few passing clouds, otherwise generally sunny. High 86. Saturday night, partly cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 70. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Been shattering records. Look at this sample.
I'm getting soaked.
You weren't expecting that, were you?
No, I wasn't.
Welcome back, everyone, to special live coverage of the severe storms crossing the Midwest and the South right now. We're live until 10 p.m. Eastern, at least till 10 p.m. Right now, a tornado watch is in effect in Kentucky and Tennessee. For the very latest, we head to storm specialist Carl Parker, who's been tracking the storms, and now we have a new tornado warning in effect, Carl.
Yeah, that's right. That's not very far away from Huntsville, Kim. We've been watching that on radar here, and let's go ahead and take a look at what's happening on the radar picture right now. And again, there is a new tornado warning, so some of these storms are showing some rotation circulation, and we'll get into that right now. Here's the broader view of the storms that are now coming across northern Alabama as well as into eastern parts of Tennessee. You see where that tornado warning is. It is north of Huntsville, and we'll zoom on down and show you what's going on with that. And so right now, warning for Lincoln, Madison County. That's going until the top of the hour. This includes Bellevue and Hazel Green and New Market as well. And that's going to be coming towards that 231 corridor there. Let's take a look at the high resolution radar. So what we've got is a cell right in here and the circulation right in there, right there. And then you've got some cooler wind that's coming back behind that, and the storm sort of surging forward there. But the circulation is now just to the north of Ardmore and near Taft. And in fact, when we go ahead and zoom in a little bit and look for the circulation, it's right in there. So right there where that red and green couplet is, that's where the wind and the rain is moving away from the radar in red and towards the radar in green. And when we see a rapid turn like that, we know that there is circulation. And again, that is in Taft. We can check the normalized rotation here. We're seeing evidence of it right there. And then we can also look for debris, and we're not seeing any evidence of debris where that circulation is right now. We'd be looking for a dark blue circle, and we're not seeing that. So there certainly is rotation there, strong rotation, and that is going to be passing very close to Taft, I guess the north side of Taft there, and then coming down to the Alabama and Tennessee state line, and then continuing to drop down just a little to the south of east. So perhaps eventually towards Hazel Green, again 231, and perhaps eventually towards Plevna and Ellora as well. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Let's go through some of the other warnings as well. Warning now for Franklin County. This is off to the west of Huntsville in western parts of Alabama, and 60 to 60 mile per hour wind along with quarter-size hail, the threat here. Also Marion County, that's going until 8:15, and then we'll go off to the north of where that tornado warning is, and we've got another warning here. I'm going to move this just a little bit, and that is up into Franklin and Lincoln and Moore counties. Pretty strong wind now coming down towards Winchester. Notice this sort of backward C shape right there, a little bowing occurring. So the wind's going to be coming right down there into Winchester and down into 64, 60 mile an hour wind. Certainly possible there. That's going till 6:45. And then we've got more warnings now. One just outside of Chattanooga. That's in anticipation of this big line coming in. So eventually in Chattanooga, heads up there, we're going to be getting in on some very strong wind. We've got a warning now for Marion and Sequatchie counties going until 8:15. And then off to the east of that, very long warning. This entire area being warned here, so that's that whole section of land that's basically west of 75 in eastern Tennessee. Hamilton, Meigs, Ray County under severe thunderstorm warning for strong wind and also for large hail. That includes Middle Valley, Snow Hill, and Soddy Daisy. And then finally, we'll take you up into Knoxville. And this cell not quite as strong looking as it once was looking, but still showing us some circulation, some stronger wind. And that is a severe thunderstorm warning for Knox and Anderson counties. That's going until 8:45 this evening. We'll take another look at that tornado warning coming up here in just a moment. Kim, over to you.
All right, Carl, you know, these storms all moved through Nashville as well, so we got some big storms there and big stories to tell as well. Right now, they're looking at the radar. It is now off to the east, so we are in the clear right now in Nashville. You can go out and assess the damage here very shortly, maybe tomorrow morning. We've had reports of large hail, tree damage, and even 68 mile per hour winds. Well, the Weather Channel's Dave Malkoff has been there, and he went through this. Dave, what can you tell us about it?
Well, that tornado warning that Carl was just showing us is a good 100 miles from us. You would have to get on I-65 south to get there in the Huntsville area. That is where that tornado warning is happening. We had a few right here in this area where we had tornado watch sirens going off all around us several times. It was a scary time for about a half an hour. We had a lot of rain coming down in the downtown Nashville area, not far from the Country Music Hall of Fame. If you ever been there, that is where we are right now. We stood here. We had lightning going off all around us. Cars were still on the roadway. Remember, this was rush hour, everybody trying to get home for the Easter weekend. But if you can, kind of take a listen to what it sounded like when we had that storm coming through. Listen to it for a couple seconds. the downtown metro area here in Nashville. And as those were happening, you can see the cars were just going about their business because people were going through the street, even though there was a lot of water ponding on the street. Now that the sun has gone down, we didn't really get much sun. We got a couple minutes of sun throughout the day. Well, it peeked through some holes in the sky and the cloud cover. But now that the sun has gone down, we've really felt a dip in the temperature. Speaking of dip in the temperature, we could have frost by Easter morning. Frost on the ground, so that's going to make it harder to find some of those Easter eggs, Carl.
No doubt about that, and we're going to take another look at this tornado warning here that is now just to the north of the Alabama and Tennessee state line. We are getting some reports of some damage, and severe weather expert Dr. Greg Forbes is here to take a look at this.
And this is sort of a hybrid between a supercell and a bow echo. It's actually a bow echo that has a rotating comma head shape to it. You see here the comma, like there's the comma, the punctuation mark, and the rotation is up in that comma head. So there could be widespread damaging winds ahead of that and maybe a little bit of a tornado behind that. So this could be the kind of tornado that could be rain wrapped. Taking a look here, we see the high definition radar, and that's what I'm talking about. There's the bow echo that I was talking about. There's the comma head that I was talking about, and the circulation located right about in there close to the Taft area, and that would be giving the tornado marching over there toward the Flintville, the Elora area. But there could be some widespread winds in here that are out ahead of that, and of course there's all sorts of rain and even lavender here, some hail coming in. So let's take a look at the velocities. Here the velocities are showing a broad rotation, characteristic of that bow echo, with the reds storm relative going this way, the greens going this way. So let me go back and we'll relate that to the precipitation pattern, and that's what we're seeing here. There's that comma head with the counterclockwise circulation about that, and the tornado likely to be sort of in that weak echo little hole there in the middle,
and not quite as well defined as it was earlier on.
It's certainly not a guaranteed to be having a tornado with this kind of a thing. We just got a brand new scan in. We'll take a look at that one, and again it continues to be a bit on the broad side. I will take a look here and draw the location of where the circulation is. We'll make sure there's no debris showing up in there. Nothing that is showing up definitively as debris. One little green speck right there that if there is a return a little lowered relative to what we normally see for rain and hail, but nothing that's definitive in terms of a tornado there.
And maybe we can just go ahead and time this out real quickly and see where this is going to be heading. So it's now coming into that 231 corridor and now to the north of Hazel Green, and we'll take it forward, and it's moving a little bit to the south of east, so that's going to be getting into Hazel Green about 747, 756 Newmarket, and then high top at around 813. And we'll continue to keep a very close eye on this.
And this is right along the Tennessee-Alabama line.
That's right. Kim, back to you.
All right, guys, thanks so much for your expert analysis. Louisville, Kentucky, Lexington, you remain under a flood warning until at least Saturday. Ahead, well, we're going to be going in depth where tonight's severe weather, rain, and the greatest threat for flood damage will be.
Oh, no.
Currently in our area, 75 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, generally clear skies, low 69. Winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, a few passing clouds, otherwise generally sunny. High 86. Saturday night, partly cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 70. Here's our 7-day outlook.
I always dreamed of coming here. When my asthma symptoms returned, my doctor prescribed Dulera to help prevent them.
Dulera is for patients 12 and older whose asthma is not well controlled on a long-term asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Dulera will not replace a rescue inhaler for sudden symptoms.
A 6-month clinical study has shown Dulera helps significantly improve lung function.
Dulera contains formoterol, which increases the risk of death from asthma problems and may increase the risk of hospitalization in children and adolescents. Dulera is not for people whose asthma is well controlled with a long-term asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Once your asthma is well controlled, your doctor will decide if you can stop Dulera and prescribe a different asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Do not take Dulera more than prescribed. See your doctor if your asthma does not improve or gets worse.
Ask your doctor about Dulera.
Introducing the new Can-Am Spyder F3. With a cruising riding position and the most advanced vehicle stability system in the industry, you'll ride with a feeling of complete freedom and confidence. Visit your Can-Am Spyder dealer and test drive one today. The new Spyder F3. Riding has evolved.
Need new tires? Right now at Pep Boys, when you buy 3 Falcon, Cooper, or Hankook tires, you get the 4th tire free instantly. Plus, get special financing for 12 months on purchases of $4.99 or more on your Pep Boys credit card. Trust the boys to get you there.
14 clubs. That's what they tell us a legal golf bag can hold. And while that leaves a little room for balls and tees, it doesn't leave room for much else. There's no room left for deadlines or conference calls. Not a single pocket to hold the stress of the day or the to-do list of tomorrow. Only 14 clubs. Pick out the right one and drive it right down the middle of Pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
Which car company is the first and only to offer built-in 4G LTE Wi-Fi in cars, trucks, and crossovers? Ranking from top to bottom.
I'm going to say Mercedes is the innovator.
BMW just because they're pricey.
The final answer? Chevy.
This model has the Wi-Fi in it?
Yep.
That's the dream, to have Wi-Fi in the car.
Get cash back for 15% of the MSRP on select 2015 models. That's over $4,000 on this Chevy Equinox. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Well, sir, after some serious consideration, I'd like to put in my 15-year notice.
You're quitting?
Technically retiring, sir. With a little help from my State Farm agent, I plan to retire in 15 years.
Wow, you're totally blindsiding me here. Who's going to manage your accounts? This is a devastating blow I was not prepared for.
Well, I'm going to finish packing my things. 15 years will really sneak up on you.
Jennifer will do your exit interview, and Adam made you a cake.
Red velvet.
Oh, thank you.
I made this.
Take charge of your retirement. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
Welcome back as we have extended our coverage this evening to tell you about the severe weather threats ongoing here around portions of the South. And right along the Tennessee-Alabama border, we are seeing some strong thunderstorms. It's part of a line that extends all the way back down into Louisiana and southern Arkansas and up into Kentucky with still some heavy rain falling there. We're seeing numerous strong thunderstorms moving through northern Alabama. New warnings out now for the possibility of hail and damaging winds in Franklin and Lawrence County. Phil Campbell, the city of Phil Campbell, need to be on your guard as we could see this strong thunderstorm produce that large hail, perhaps wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. A tornado warning right here along the Alabama-Tennessee border. Lincoln and Madison counties under this warning for the possibility of tornadoes. We've seen a lot of damage already due to very gusty winds. And as this continues on its eastern track, New Hope, Keys Mill by 7:48, New Market by 7:55. We'll be watching the threat of tornadoes making its way into portions of northern Alabama here. As we mentioned, the wind gusts have already caused some damage. As a matter of fact, in Elkton, Tennessee, a large equipment shed has been destroyed. We've also seen a truck flipped over on Venta Mill Road here near the town of Ardmore. So there's already been threats of severe weather, and we could see tornadoes along with this as well. So numerous warnings extend here into Grundy, Van Buren counties into portions of southern Tennessee. Chattanooga, this is off toward the north of you. In Marion County, we're watching the possibility of hail and damaging winds coming into this area as well. There will be lots of dangerous lightning even if we don't have those dangerous wind gusts. Please be on your guard. Get indoors. Kim, a lot of things still ongoing as we head through the evening.
Yeah, and we've had a lot of heavy rain, a lot of flash flooding that happened here in Kentucky. Hit hard by heavy rainfall today. Over 5 inches of rain fell in Louisville, the highest daily total in April on record. Now, intersections flooded with water rising all the way up to car windows. In fact, the city saw over 100 water rescues as a result of the flooded streets. Well, we're going to turn now to, on the phone, Jody Duncan with MetroSafe Louisville. Jody, thanks for joining us.
No problem. Thanks, Kim.
All right, so we want to know how the roads are in Kentucky right now. What about Interstate 75?
I haven't heard any word on Interstate 75 as of yet, but, we've got a lot of those waters still up. They've not receded as quickly as we like, and we're still making some water rescues out there. We've had about 17 from 3 to 8 this evening, which, of course, isn't as much as 185 throughout the day, but we'd like to get that number down for sure.
Oh, sure. How have emergency management services helped people who were stuck in some of that high water?
There were a lot of people stuck in that high water, and what we did as an agency is made sure that everyone had the opportunity to get to a shelter. American Red Cross had shelters out there if people needed it. We dispatched out the fire department, and they had boats and things like that, and went out and helped those people.
Wow! So you guys, were you prepared for this? Was this somewhat of a surprise?
We knew that we were going to have some inclement weather, but we didn't know it was going to be to this degree since we got right around 6 inches in a really short amount of time. So this morning, the public school system did cancel their schools, and so that was really good because we have no buses on the street, and we were able to get things together a little quicker with getting people out.
Oh gosh,
to
absolutely.
rescue others. Yeah.
And I'm trying to picture this happening overnight, and then you guys waking up and seeing this mess. How are people handling this?
Well, they're handling it really well, and I want to tout emergency management too. We go out and we tell people how to prepare. We remind them to turn around, don't drown. And there are a lot of people out there that believe that if it's just a small amount of water, they can get through it, and they don't realize how quickly that water flows, and sometimes they do get stuck in it. So
right, definitely. Many thanks to EMA for sure, and thank you for joining us. Real quick, a hotline or a website that folks can go to help them out?
If they need any information, they most certainly can go to our LouisvilleKY.gov website, and FEMA has at ready.gov, and they can get some great information about flooding and things of that nature as well.
Awesome. Jody Duncan, thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us, and all the best there in the Bluegrass State. Nick?
Yeah, elsewhere here in the Bluegrass State, quite a sight earlier today. Look at that. As a fire broke out at the GE plant in Louisville, the cause of the fire still unclear and will not be known until the flames are completely contained. Well, shifting winds have caused heavy smoke to blow toward the residential areas, but local authorities say there are no toxic chemical threats for people living in the area. Nearly 200 firefighters worked to slow the massive blaze down.
The garden is the story of our lives, told and retold. It's as old as our time on Earth and as new as tomorrow. You can have a yard, or slightly less. Gardening isn't about where we choose to live. It's about how we choose to live. Miracle Grow. Life starts here.
We have a tornado on the ground. It's moving. We know you can't control the weather. That's looking good. So we build things to harness it. That's awesome.
They hit the water. Game on.
Up here in Southeast Alaska, the Coast Guard's the last line up at fence.
This is about how far you can push yourself.
Currently in our area, 75 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, generally clear skies, low 69. Winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, a few passing clouds, otherwise generally sunny, high 86. Saturday night, partly cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible, low 70. Here's our 7-day outlook.
If you have Medicare Part D, Walgreens gets that you might be at the corner of looking for a good deal, and sheesh, I wish I'd look some more. That's why Walgreens makes it easy to switch your prescriptions and save money. Just stop by and leave all the legwork to us. Switch your prescriptions to Walgreens, where you could save even more on Medicare Part D with copays as low as $0 at the corner of happy and healthy.
Oh no. Can you fix it, Dad?
Yeah, I can fix that. I wanted a car that could handle anything.
I fixed it!
That's why I got a Subaru Legacy.
Symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 36 mpg.
I gotta break more toys.
The 2015 Subaru Legacy. It's not just a sedan, it's a Subaru.
All we need to sell Strongbow Hard Cider is ice. And an award for best tasting hard cider.
Have you got the shot yet?
Remember that thing about keeping your face behind the award? Strongbow.
Let me talk to you about retirement. The 401k is the most sound way to go. Let's talk asset allocation. Sure.
You seem knowledgeable, professional.
I'm actually a DJ.
No way.
That really is you.
If they're not a CFP pro, you just don't know. CFP.
If you want to succeed in business, mistakes are a luxury you can't afford. That's why I recommend fast, reliable Comcast Business Internet. They know what businesses need, and there's a no-mistake guarantee. If you don't like it, you have 30 days to call and get your money back. With Comcast Business Internet, you literally can't mook a mistake. I meant to say that.
Switch today and get the no-mistake guarantee. Comcast Business. Built for business.
One look at that Red Baron pizza, and you're gonna love it from the first bite to the last. Because a perfect pizza requires a perfect crust. The sauce commands your attention. The cheese begs you to savor every bite. The pepperoni declares you have reached pizza nirvana. And that last slice?
What's it worth to you?
A perfect crust means a better pizza. Red Baron. Love at first bite. Pick up a pizza you can call your own. Red Baron Singles.
Order now.
We have been shattering records. Look at this sample.
I'm getting soaked.
You weren't expecting that, were you?
No, I wasn't.
Welcome back as we continue to update you on severe weather. And Carl, it looks like maybe we have seen a tornado there right along the Alabama-Tennessee border.
Yeah, we've been watching this rotation as it's come down to the Alabama state line there. And let's drop on in and show you where this is. It's now just north of Huntsville. And so it's coming right along the line there. And there's a circulation embedded within that line. It was a fairly robust circulation for at least a while. And this is now a confirmed warning. Now, we're not sure whether or not they're saying this based on radar or something else, but it is a confirmed tornado warning for Lincoln and Madison counties, and that is including Bellevue, Hazel Green, New Market, going until 8 o'clock. And let's go ahead and time this out. So the circulation is going to be right there. It's right there where you've got that little comma head and a big surge of wind just to the south and west of that. So as we time out both that circulation and that surge of wind, that's going to be getting into New Market in the next couple of minutes here. Francisco at about 8:04 is still Fork 8:09, and High Top at around 8:14. We continue to watch what's going on in the radar picture. Still seeing some circulation here, but I have not seen any evidence of any debris on the radar as of yet. So we'll continue to watch that very closely.
Any evidence that this is weakening just a little bit, or is it still holding its own?
Well, you know, I think what's going to happen is we're going to see these storms begin to congeal into a big line, and along with that, you're going to see a lot of lightning, you're going to see a lot of wind and very heavy rain, and there will be little spin-ups, and it may continue to be fairly active for the next couple of hours. hours, but then as we get towards later evening, it should really begin to settle down. Now, there is a warning for Huntsville, and that is for Limestone, Madison counties. That's going until 8:15. And Sarah, maybe we could time that out as well and take it right into Huntsville there. So it's not very far away. Some real strong winds along with that storm going to be dropping down right past 231 there, as well as Route 72 in short order. And there's the leading edge of it, and not very far away, so it's going to be getting into Huntsville probably in about 10 minutes or so. Oh, new tornado warning. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. New tornado warning there, and that is for the Huntsville Metro. And we'll go ahead and look at that on the high-resolution radar if we could, Sarah. And that's on 19. Okay, so it looks like what we've got here, and there's the county. There's Madison County, tornado warning for Huntsville. And let's go ahead and go to the 19, the Gibson Ridge. And so what we've got here is what we saw with the last system, which is a broader circulation right in there. That's a broad circulation, but oftentimes you can get a tornado in that case. We'll check and see if there's any debris. No evidence of any debris in that area, but you've got a circulation that's sitting in there within that line. And so there is now a tornado warning for Huntsville, and the center line of that warning would take it right down to just the north side of the Huntsville Metro. So we'll continue to watch this very closely and see how this radar evolves coming up here in the next few minutes. All right, let's take a look at some of the other warnings now.
Yeah, even if we don't see a tornado out of this, here and elsewhere, we could see damaging winds. In fact, we already have.
Yeah, we have seen. In fact, we had a report of a truck actually flipped by one of these storms, and that may have been the tornado itself there in southern parts of Tennessee. So severe warning now for Marion County, and then just off to the north and east of that, another severe warning. And this is all going to be making its way towards Cullman before very long. And then maybe we can go up and off to the northeast. A lot of warnings there in the Chattanooga Metro and on north and east. A whole string of warnings along that line. So that's Marion, Sequatchie counties, and then along 75, west of 75, east of 75, more warnings there. And the primary concern with a line like that, when you've got a big line of storms, is going to be damaging wind. Again, you can get little spin-ups that develop within the line, but right now primarily it's going to be damaging wind. Although this is interesting, you've got some cells coming in from the south right there, and sometimes when you get a little cell merger, you get enough turning of the wind in short order to create a little spin up. So that's another thing we're going to want to watch for as those cells come together right along 75 in eastern parts of Tennessee. But a lot of action there, and that is gradually going to sag down and into the Atlanta Metro.
And of course, as it does, we do hope to see some weakening here as we head into the later night.
Yeah, I think we will see some weekend. I think that's going to be the case. And there is a look at the timing. This is going to be getting into Chattanooga probably in about 25 minutes or so. Be getting over there into Dalton at about the top of the hour. Boynton around 9:39, and then Athens coming up here in just a couple of minutes. So a lot going on there along that 75 corridor. And again, there is now a tornado warning for the Huntsville Metro. Let's go back and take a look at what's going on with that. And again, what we're seeing here is sort of a broader circulation, but then a little more of a tight circulation within that, and that is generally headed right down and towards the Huntsville metro area.
All right, keep it right here. We're going to update you on more severe weather threats coming up in just 60 seconds, right here on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 75 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, generally clear skies, low 69, winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, a few passing clouds, otherwise generally sunny, high 86. Saturday night, partly cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible, low 70. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back, everyone. everyone, to special severe weather coverage. I'm Kim Cunningham.
And I'm Nick Walker. We're here in the lab tonight, and we have storm specialist Carl Parker, now joined by severe weather expert Dr. Greg Forbes. A tornado warning still in effect there across the south.
Yeah, tornado warning now in the Huntsville metro, and Huntsville is one of those cities that's in a little tornado alley there.
Yeah, it really is. It's it and the county just to the south and east, one of the most tornado-prone counties, or two of the most tornado-prone counties in the United States. And two tornadoes, one of them coming into the Huntsville metro area from the west-northwest, the other straddling the Alabama-Tennessee line. We'll start with the newer tornado warning here that's coming right into the Huntsville metro. You can see how there's a hook echo, little notch of lower return on the radar, and then the red wrapping around that, so the tornado would be in there. Now this is sort of a signature recognition kind of thing, that an anticipation that this might develop a little more strongly in terms of the rotation. It has the rotation loft shaping the storm, not real strong rotation at the moment down into the ground, coming toward the ground, but coming from the northwest across Madison County into the Huntsville area and moving south and east at about 40 miles per hour. And Sarah's timing that out for us. That would take it right into Huntsville right about 8:10. And then continuing down toward the Gurley area there at about 8:20.
And so in addition to that tornado threat, you've also got this surge of wind here on the south side, and that's going to be a threat too.
Yeah, there'll be this little bow-shaped echo here that would give some damaging winds even if you don't get a tornado with this kind of a storm. And over here, there's probably going to be some 1 inch or less size hail that will be a few miles on a track a few miles farther to the northeast. Now here's the high-definition radar, and here you can see what I'm talking about. So there is the hook wrapping around. There's the little fish hook right at the end of that. Tornado likes to either sit within that or just that would take that down across the north and maybe the northeast suburbs of the Huntsville metro area with that little lavender spot in there giving some hail.
And we're hearing now that a spotter at Douglas and 53 is spotting a lowering of clouds and a possible funnel cloud. So we are getting a wall cloud apparently, and maybe a funnel cloud as well.
Yeah, that would be the wall cloud. The wall cloud is the lowest most portion of the updraft. The updraft comes in here and then goes higher up into the body of the storm. So the updraft will be right in that lowered little inflow notch area. Taking a look at the velocities, the green's going eastbound, the red's going westbound. So right in there is the potential circulation area, and that is, well, I think we've seen the old velocity pattern. So if I shift this, yeah, it takes it to catch up. So that was right as the storm was coming right across that area with the hook echo. So let's take a look here again and see if the velocities of the newest scan has come in. Taking a look here, it's not real, certainly not a real strong,
robust
signature. If we ask the radar for the normalized velocities, there are a couple of areas here that is suggesting have some rotation, but not a real strong, and it's the southern of those two that has that. And do we have any debris signatures showing up? There is one little speck right there of lowered. It's not the reds and or lavenders that indicate precipitation. So the jury is still out, because the end of my pointer there is in air that is pretty much clear air. So you can't really trust the debris signature unless it's sort of surrounded by precipitation, or at least a little bit of higher return on the radar.
Yeah, you tend to see these just really profound circles of blue when you see a lot of debris.
Exactly, that's right.
Okay, so let's go on and take a look at the next warning, and we've got another one off to the north here, and that is now a severe thunderstorm warning. The next warning that's up there around High Top, and with this we're going to primarily be looking at damaging wind and large hail. Jackson, Madison County under severe warning, and then there's a whole string of warnings here off to the north and east, Dr. Forbes, and that's right up and along the 75 corridor, and so this is probably going to be the shape of things for the most part going forward tonight.
Yeah, and the farther you go off to the north and east, the more these are, instead of these circulation centers, they're more backward sea bow echoes that have damaging winds rather than having a higher chance of tornado with it.
You might see a little spin up in some of these
sometimes
early
you can
on,
certainly, and sometimes on the leading edge of these outflows you can get a brief tornado as well. But the farther south we've gone here toward the Alabama and then line and then into Alabama, we've seen a little bit stronger rotation.
And we actually do have a picture right now coming from the University of Alabama in Huntsville. It's it's a live webcam shot, I believe, and maybe we can go back to that tornado warning and see what's going on there. And obviously, it's the sky's dark. We're not going to see a whole lot, and we've got a possible tornado coming into Huntsville right now. Not the strongest circulation we've ever seen, but there is a pretty well-defined hook echo there, and circulation within the storm that's coming down right down into the Huntsville metro, maybe just a little on the north side of the metro there, and maybe we can go back and take another look and see what the latest scan has for us.
Yeah, if we could go back to the high def, well, we can even see it right in here, what I was going to show, that the hook echo, the hook sort of has wrapped all the way around now. So when that happens, sometimes that means some of the rain-cooled air has wrapped around the circulation. So two things can happen in that case. One, that rain-cooled air can choke off the tornado, and if it was there, make it dissipate. The other is that, at least for the moment, it can wind up perhaps making the tornado even harder to see because it's wrapped in rain instead of just what might have been illuminated by lightning. Now you might not see because it's wrapped in rain.
But generally, it needs this consistent inflow of warm and humid air. It's got to have that feeding the storm in order for the tornado to keep going.
That's typically the case. It's a very fine dance between needing a little bit of this rear flank downdraft air to initiate the tornado, but if that rear flank downdraft air is too cold or there's too much of it, it can completely wrap around and choke off that warm inflow. So I sometimes call it the Goldilocks and the Three Bears theory of tornado formation, that it can't be too cold, it can't be too warm, it has to be just right in order to get the tornado.
Got to have a lot of balance. And so this is going to be coming into Huntsville in the next couple of minutes here. So now's the time to take cover, folks, there. Eccles Hill at about 8:10, Brownsboro 8:17, 8:23 Gurley. And Sarah, maybe we can take a look at the high-resolution radar once again and see what the latest scan has for us here.
And if you look very, very carefully, you can see here that hook having wrapped up around, but now there's a little bit of this weaker return where the warm inflow would be coming in, but certainly some evidence that some of that rain-cooled air may have wrapped around. The circulation would be a tornado, if there were one, would likely to be sitting right about in there, and indeed we do see some greens going eastbound, some reds westbound. It's more of a broad circulation than it is a tornado circulation, at least as I'm seeing it. But certainly circulation there, and sometimes you get brief tornadoes with this kind of thing.
And so we would call that outflow dominated if that cold air that really takes over there.
If it does indeed take over, as I'm hypothesizing here, that would become sort of outflow dominant and probably choke off the tornado, and the dominant mode then would probably become straight line winds that would be coming into the north and northeast suburbs of Huntsville. At the moment, though, we have to still assume there could be a tornado, especially coming right toward the normal area, that suburb north of Huntsville.
All right, so brand new scan. Let's see if we've got anything there. And it looks...
You definitely have to really use your imagination now if you were going to find anything that looks like a well-defined hook echo. What you can see is this backward C that we've been talking about, that maybe it is becoming outflow dominated. So certainly... signs are in the right direction in terms of seeming to be a little less likely to produce a tornado. That said, this little finger that's coming down here sometimes can be troubling. So let me have an assessment on that. Nothing at the moment. There's just a broad rotation in behind that, but very subtle little things. Sometimes if you had a sudden downdraft that was dropping down there and accelerates the wind coming down in here with the inflow there, you can form a quick tornado out of that kind of thing. So you never can be 100% sure. Things happen very fast in these severe thunderstorm environments.
And you can have these more profound circulations within the body of the storm, but then you can have these little spin-ups right along the leading edge that come down, and generally they don't last very long. They're very difficult to warn on, those little mesovortices, as they're called, along the leading edge there.
We are getting a few trees reported down. Bowles Road, west of Greenville Pike, Harvest Road, West Highlander area. So no indication that that's necessarily from tornadoes. It could very well be these winds with the storm that we're talking about.
Yeah, Pebblestone Drive, Blackstone Drive reported at 6 minutes after the hour. Some wind, possibly maybe just straight line wind, or maybe a tornado. Trees down reported there. So here's the timing, and coming into Huntsville right now, basically, and then over into Brownsboro at 8:20. 820, and then 825 into Gurley, and 829 into Paint Rock. And maybe we should, I don't know, maybe we should take a look at what's going on a little farther north as well, and see what's happening up here. You've still got this big string of severe thunderstorm warnings there coming into High Top. That's Jackson, Madison County. Then another warning here that is off to the west of Chattanooga. Actually, a whole bunch of warnings there west of Chattanooga, and this great big line that's now really beginning to congeal, and we're not seeing as much in the way of individual storms that we saw earlier today, but rather just a big line of storms. And when you've got a line of storms like that, you can still get some spin-ups within them, but for the most part, what you're going to be looking at is a very strong wind and then a lot of heavy rain, and that's now coming down into Chattanooga, and will eventually make it down into Atlanta, but probably weakening as it does so.
And indeed, and you would expect with these kind of solid lines, a pretty good lightning show with this, and you should always remember that more so than the wind or tornadoes, in many occasions, it's that lightning that can prove deadly. So when thunder roars, go indoors or into a metal-top vehicle, and don't be touching any electrical appliances or plumbing or anything that could bring the lightning from outside into your building or into your car.
Yeah, so if lightning hits the house, it's actually the way that it's going to come down to the ground is through the walls, in the wiring, in the plumbing.
Exactly.
So even if you're just touching, if you're doing the dishes, you could actually be shocked if your house was struck by lightning directly.
And we have had reports of that we've talked about on the Weather Channel in years past, of people that were having exactly that, either doing the dishes or arc down from above from a light fixture and struck them. So
wow.
You want to be away from electrical appliances.
Absolutely. And look at all the strikes there. 222 strikes along that line as it's dropping down towards 75. And Sarah, maybe we could go to that one storm that's just in the northern part of Alabama, because that appears to be the most electrical storm right now. There's the warning, by the way, for Chattanooga and on eastward, Bradley, McMinn, and Meigs counties, and that's including Chattanooga. That's going until the top of the hour. And here is this cell that's now dropping into Jackson, Madison counties. And again, a terrific amount of lightning with this storm as it's now approaching 72 there. Look at all that lightning, and you see the big sort of red, or rather a golden core. That is what the computer is projecting. That's where the lightning is really going to be dropping down across 72 there, just south of the state line. 386 strikes with that one storm alone as it comes down towards 72.
And just continuing to watch while you're talking there, I'm looking here at the high definition radar, and the circulation and the wind shift with these thunderstorm gusts seems to be coming right across the Huntsville or downtown Huntsville metro area right now. So this appears to be probably the time of greatest risk of a tornado, but it does not seem to be the kind of signal on the radar that's certainly not guaranteeing that there's any tornado there, and probably not a higher chance that there is actually a tornado at this point. No new additional information come in the last couple of minutes of damage or funnel reports or anything like that.
All right, so there is a tornado warning ongoing for Huntsville, but we are cautiously encouraged about the possibility that there may not be a tornado. We do think, however, there could be very strong wind coming in. Dr. Greg, let's take a look at the high-resolution radar and see what we've got coming into Huntsville right now.
Yeah, there's that. We've been talking about this turning into the main signature being this little flanking line that originally was part of the Hook Echo, and that is really driving now toward the south and east, up in the northeast corner of the Huntsville metro, between the community of Normal and Huntsville itself. And so it would appear that the wind shift line now, the gust front, if you will, is coming right across Huntsville. Were there to be a tornado, that would more likely be over well up to the north and east now, in the areas north and east of Huntsville and south and east of Normal.
And what are we seeing on the velocity data right now? Just that wind shift probably that you're talking about there.
Yeah, in the velocity data you can see mainly a broad area of green coming across here, a broad area of red. So these would be the northwest flow, and these would be the prevailing southerly flow coming in.
Okay, maybe a little spin up there when you along that interface, but outside of that, looks like it's less likely that we are seeing a tornado at this time.
Yeah, that would be my interpretation exactly.
Okay, all right. So, and we'll take a look at some other areas. There's a look at the area overall. Severe warning there ongoing. We've got one up towards the Alabama line, and then maybe we could just go through the model a little bit and take a look at the forecast for the rest of tonight, because we do think that generally speaking, all of this weather is going to be settling down over the next hour or so here, next couple of hours. Certainly, we're going to see some additional wind, some very heavy rain, a lot of lightning, but generally what we think is that most of these storms are going to begin to settle later on tonight. Agreed?
Yeah, certainly by or just after midnight, I would think that the activity would really begin to wind down.
Okay, so later tonight, there's the model forecast, and you see as we go into the overnight hours, we don't see very much at all. Maybe a little bit of development tomorrow morning there as we get closer to the Gulf Coast, and you've got just a lot of buoyancy in that warm and humid air. But so, you know, the next couple of hours are going to be critical. It looks like it's going to be more of a hail and wind threat along with heavy rain and lightning than anything else. And we're going to continue to watch this very carefully. I don't know if we still have that live picture of Huntsville or not, but we've been looking at a close call here in Huntsville. There it is, live picture on the campus of the University of Alabama. And at this point, it looks like just some strong wind coming in. We'll talk more about this coming right up.
I've just arrived in Atlanta, and I can't wait to start telling people how switching to Geico could save them hundreds of dollars on car insurance. But first, my luggage. Ah, there it is. Excuse me, sir, I think you've got the wrong bag.
Sorry, they all look alike, you know.
No worries. Well, car's here. I can't save people money chatting at the baggage claim all day.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
All we need to sell Strongbow Hard Cider is ice. And an award for best tasting hard cider.
Have you got the shot yet?
Remember that thing about keeping your face behind the award? Strongbow.
And just like that, the snow is gone. And parkas become jackets. And sweaters go down for a long nap. And off you go. And your backyard gets a whole lot bigger. And you're running and climbing. And your gear gets lighter and trimmer and fitter and smarter. And now every frozen second spent willing this day to come is just a warm, fading memory.
This Jesus cult grows stronger by the hour.
Take him and crucify him.
Killing him won't be the end of him.
There will be no mercy.
AD, the Bible continues, this Sunday on NBC.
Thank you for being a sailor and my daddy. Thank you, Mom, for protecting my future.
Thank you for being my hero and my dad.
Military families are thankful for many things. The legacy of USAA Auto Insurance could be one of them. Our world-class service earned USAA the top spot in a study of the most recommended large companies in America. If you're current or former military or their family, see if you're eligible to get an auto insurance quote.
Hey, buddy, you're squashing me. Liquid wart remover could take weeks to treat.
Embarrassing, Wart? Dr. Scholl's Freeze Away wipes them out fast with as few as one treatment.
Freeze Away!
Dr. Scholl's, the #1 selling freeze brand.
You're clean. Bam!
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans so much better it meets even the highest standards of clean. With a soft, DuraClean texture, Charmin Ultra Strong is 4 times stronger, and you can use up to 4 times less.
Charmin Ultra Strong.
Control the weather. That's like a kid. So we build things to harness it.
That's awesome. They hit the water, game on.
Up here in Southeast Alaska, the Coast Guard's the last line up defense.
This is about how far you can push yourself.
One look at that Red Baron pizza, and you're gonna love it from the first bite to the last. Because a perfect pizza requires a perfect crust. The sauce commands your attention. The cheese begs you to savor every bite. The pepperoni declares you have reached pizza nirvana. And that last slice?
What's it worth to you?
A perfect crust means a better pizza. Red Baron. Love at first bite. Pick up a pizza you can call your own. Red Baron Singles.
Did you or a loved one work on an oil and gas drilling rig between the years 1963 and 1985? Do you or a family member have lung cancer or mesothelioma, or did your loved one die from lung cancer or mesothelioma? If so, you and your family may be entitled to compensation. For free information, call the offices of James C. Farrell 24 hours a day at 1-800-676-7845. Call now, 1-800-676-7845.
For a limited time.
Currently in our area, 75 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, generally clear skies, low 69. Winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, a few passing clouds, otherwise generally sunny. High 86. Saturday night, partly cloudy skies. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Low 70. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back. Huntsville, Alabama, still under a tornado warning at this hour. We're seeing obviously a lot of rain on the lens here at this picture from the University of Alabama there at Huntsville. But obviously it's too dark to really see the severe weather that might be there, the gusty winds, the possible damaging winds that could be in this thunderstorm, and perhaps even a tornado. Earlier, there was a funnel cloud reported there in Madison County, so we may very well still have enough impetus that we could see a tornado spin up, but it looks as if we still could find lots of lightning, lots of heavy rainfall, and some damaging wind as well. Here are the watches, and we are still under this severe thunderstorm watch here around the Huntsville area and all of northern Alabama. That expires at midnight. Another watch covers portions of Louisiana, Arkansas, and Mississippi until midnight Central Time. And then what's left of a tornado watch that extends over the eastern portions of Tennessee goes until midnight as well. And we're also under those severe thunderstorm warnings a little farther toward the south and toward the east. As this line of thunderstorms continues to progress eastward, there are warnings all along it, but you see what else is